Chief Thomas Little Shell III, also known as Ace Ants or S. Sense, was a prominent leader of the Ojibwa people in the 19th century. He was born around 1830. The Ojibwa, also known as the Chippewa or Anishinaabeg, are an indigenous people originally from the Great Lakes region of North America. Over time, they migrated westward, pushed by European expansion and seeking new hunting grounds. This westward movement brought them to the Great Plains, where they encountered other Native American tribes and a changing landscape. The Anishinaabeg people faced significant challenges as they moved into new territories. Little Shell emerged as a leader during a time of immense change and upheaval for his people. He witnessed firsthand the growing pressure on Anishinaabeg lands and resources from the ever-expanding United States. The encroachment of white settlers, the decline of the buffalo herds, and the imposition of treaties threatened the traditional way of life of the Ojibwa. Little Shell, known for his courage, determination, and unwavering commitment to his people, rose to prominence as a staunch defender of their rights and sovereignty. He understood the importance of preserving their culture, traditions, and connection to the land in the face of these challenges. The Anishinaabeg people had a deep spiritual connection to the land and relied on its resources for their survival. The bison, in particular, played a central role in their culture, providing them with food, clothing, shelter, and tools. The arrival of European settlers disrupted this delicate balance, as they hunted bison to near extinction, cleared forests for agriculture, and introduced diseases that ravaged indigenous populations. Little Shell recognized the urgent need to protect his people's interests in the face of these threats. He understood that the treaties being imposed by the United States government often came at a high cost to his people, leading to the loss of their lands and the erosion of their way of life. Throughout his leadership, Little Shell faced difficult choices as he navigated the complex relationship between the Anishinaabe and the United States government. He participated in treaty negotiations, seeking to secure the best possible outcomes for his people, but he also resisted attempts to further diminish their land base and sovereignty. Little Shell's life and legacy embody the resilience and determination of the Ojibwa people in the face of adversity. He is remembered as a skilled negotiator, a courageous leader, and a tireless advocate for the rights of his people. In 1863, the United States government approached the Ojibwa and other tribes with the Treaty of Old Crossing. This treaty sought to acquire a vast swathe of land in present-day Minnesota and North Dakota in exchange for promises of annuities, reservations, and other provisions. The treaty was part of a broader strategy by the United States to open up the Western Territories for settlement and resource extraction. While some Ojibwa leaders, recognizing the growing power of the United States, reluctantly agreed to the terms of this treaty, Little Shell remained deeply skeptical. Little Shell understood that treaties often represented a one-sided deal that favored the interests of the United States government. He saw the Treaty of Old Crossing as another attempt to displace his people from their ancestral lands and undermine their self-sufficiency. He argued that the treaty's provisions were inadequate to compensate for the loss of their land base, which held not only economic but also profound cultural and spiritual significance for the Ojibwa people. Despite Little Shell's objections, the Treaty of Old Crossing was signed by a majority of the Ojibwa leaders present. However, this did not deter Little Shell from continuing to resist further land cessions. He recognized that the treaty would have long-term consequences for his people, and he was determined to protect their interests as best he could. Little Shell's resistance took many forms. He refused to participate in further treaty negotiations, arguing that the United States government had already taken enough from the Ojibwa. Little Shell's unwavering stance made him a symbol of resistance for the Ojibwa people. He encouraged his followers to maintain their traditions, preserve their language, and resist assimilation into American society. Little Shell's actions inspired future generations of Ojibwa leaders who continued to fight for their treaty rights and sovereignty. His legacy serves as a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, it is essential to stand up for what is right and to protect the interests of one's people.